We are the hosts of the Real Housewives of Velaris podcast. I'm Kylie.
And I'm Blakely. Warning, we have potty mouths, and this podcast is rated R, like the books we read.
I am so excited to be doing this. How are you feeling about this?
I'm excited. I have excited, vibey energy.
Vibey. Ooh.
Vibey. So, on today's agenda, we'll be discussing Rebecca Yarros' Fourth Wing, the first book of the Empyrean series. If you haven't read Fourth Wing, stop. Go read it, and then come back to us later.
So, first question. When did you read Fourth Wing, and what did you rate it on Goodreads?
I read it in July, and I consumed it in a day, and I rated it 5-star. What about you?
I fought you on this. I didn't want to read it.
I bullied you.
I didn't want to read it. I waited until August, and then I was sucked in and I couldn't put it down, which was so annoying. I didn't want to be into it because it's not a completed series. And that was my whole argument. And here we are. We're like, God, we love this book so much. Let's have a podcast.
I know. And I just think it's funny that my bullying is so intense that you're like, no, I waited and waited and waited. I read it in July and you read it in August. That's not very much time.
It felt like so much time because, this first half of the year, we read so much, psychotic amounts. And still, you bullied me into reading it. You're a bully.
I did a full court press on it. I wanted to make sure you, I was so pissed after Iron Flame. I threw my book across the room, and I wanted you to feel that way too.
That is a terrible friend. I want you to feel pain. You want me to suffer.
Yeah, the book community. Yeah, the book community is full of, we just trauma bond all the time over these books. This isn't new. I just want you to trauma bond with me.
And now we are asking everyone else to trauma bond with us. It's just a group of trauma bonding. This is therapy. We are going to sit and we're going to suffer together because suffering is a choice and we're choosing to do it together.
It sounds really healthy. And but so excited to be here.
Thrilled. Okay, so let's do a 6.
Wait, what did you rate it?
5 stars.
Okay, good.
I mean, we're making a podcast and starting about this. Of course, I rated it 5 stars. It was a silly question.
Yeah, that's right. So now it's time for our 60-second pitch. I'm going to put 60 seconds on the clock, and you have to pitch it to people of why they should read it. Ready?
I'm going for this.
Go.
Okay, a small, fragile girl goes to college and has to fight to make friends because she's not supposed to. And, bond with a dragon and not break. I went for less than 60 seconds, but I think it's solid.
You didn't hit 20, but I'm here for it.
It's a small, fragile girl going to college. Everyone should read it.
I was trying not to laugh at you. It's a small, fragile girl. Okay. I'm prepared for mine.
Okay. All right.
1 minute on.
Ready?
Ready?
Go.
He's tall, with wind-blown black hair and dark brows. The line of his jaw is strong and covered by warm, tawny skin and dark stubble. When he folds his arm across his torso, the muscles in his chest and arms ripple, moving in a way that makes me swallow. And his eyes are the shade of a gold-flecked onyx. The contrast is startling, jaw-dropping even. Everything about him is. His features are so harsh that they look carved, and yet they're astonishingly perfect, like an artist worked a lifetime sculpting him, and at least a year of that was spent on his mouth. He's the most exquisite man I've ever seen. That's why you should read it.
Did you just do a synopsis of porn?
It's the description of the book. Of Xaden.
Yeah, I went for Violet and you went for Xaden. And so small fragile girl meets sexy man. It's not wrong. It's not.
No. I think people are really going to want to read this book.
After my description, for sure. Mine definitely sells them. Not your sultry reading, which Is that how you read bedtime stories?
No, I'm a former drama kid. I change it up when I read.
We can't do 60 seconds pitches or 60-second pitches because you were born to do this, you drama nerd.
Sorry
Yeah.
that you weren't. Small, fragile girl.
I hate you sometimes. Honestly, I hate you a lot of the times, just not this year.
We'll get into that. So, Kyle, tell me about the world.
All right.
This fourth.
So, Fourth Wing is set in a fantasy world where the country of Navarre protects its borders with an elite army of dragon riders. When they're approximately of real world college age, the young people of Navarre enter one of the four quadrants in order to serve their country at Basgiath War College. Here we go, messing stuff up, which is an elite military college located in the Kingdom of Navarre. There are 4 different quadrants at Basgiath War College. I keep saying it like Meredith
It's hard to
from
Yeah,
Real Housewives. So for those that listen to or watch Real Housewives, Meredith Marks says husbands, and that's where I could go with Basgiath War College. There's the Writers Quadrant, the the Scribes Quadrant, Healers Quadrant, and Infantry Quadrant. It's the most well known for its Writers Quadrant, where cadets get the chance to bond with dragons, thus becoming writers. Roughly just a quarter of all cadets manage to graduate from the Writers Quadrant. Every Navarrian officer must study here for 3 years to hone useful skills to protect the Navarrian borders from the enemy.
What quadrant would you want to be in? And what quadrant do you think you'd actually be?
I mean, all of us big goals to be in the Writers Quadrant. Realistically, I'd want to be in the Healers Quadrant, but I'd probably fail everything and end up in the Infantry Quadrant and be first to be sacrificed. What about you?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta go with your your weak limbs, your
Yeah.
tears. Like, you'll be a really great sacrifice.
You're a weak college age girl.
I definitely am fragile.
Not college, but okay. So obviously in my mind, I'd love to be in Writer's Quadrant because I think I'm better than most people. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. Shit. People don't know me. Note, I am sarcastic and kind of an asshole. So I'm usually joking about things just so people
But
know.
they'll never know.
But I'm afraid of heights. So I can't imagine riding on the back of a dragon. Like, I don't like going on jet skis because of control issues. I don't think I would do well on a dragon. I get queasy when it comes to injuries and blood, so I couldn't be a healer. Infantry, I don't think I'm meant for that. I think I would be a scribe.
Okay.
And I would love to rewrite history.
I just love that you compared riding a dragon to riding a jet ski. I 100%
My point was, if I can't even ride a fucking jet ski, how could I ride a dragon?
it's not the same, like
What was that sound effect?
I cannot replicate that. Like, you get that once.
Okay.
Okay, so that is Fourth Wing. It was good talk.
Mhm. But since we're super professional, we should keep
Okay.
going. To enter the Basgiath War College, some volunteer, others come as punishment. More on Separatist children later, but most are conscripted. Everyone must undertake an entrance exam consisting of both written and an agility test. Those who don't pass the exam end up in infantry. You.
No, I end up at the front line, not even infantry. There's just like a secret squad of sacrifices, and that's me.
They'll be like, have you seen that girl's knees?
Weak
Ouch.
ankles.
The college program spans a period of 3 years, during which communication with families is restricted for first-year students. I'd be fine not talking to my parents, like, for the whole 3 years. Just want to point that out. Only second and third-year students are granted the privilege of maintaining contact with their families and friends beyond the college. If a student dies while attending the War College, parents are given 2 options. Either they can retrieve the body and personal effects or burial or cremation, or the college will handle the burial and burning of the effects on their behalf.
My parents would be like, burner.
Kind of inconvenient.
We don't have time to go pick that girl up. Like, we didn't want her anyways.
Her things aren't that nice. See you later.
She lives from a hovel, you know.
Hovel.
I don't know why I can't just. I've forewarned everyone I can't speak. Like, let's get into chapter 1. So,
It's a doozy. Chapter 1 is a lot of information.
okay, so we meet small said fragile girl. Okay, so we meet Violet Sorrengail, who has been training her whole life to be a scribe. When her dad dies, her mom, General Sorrengail, the commander of Basgiath, I don't know why that was such a struggle. It's the husband thing. I can't get over it. It's stuck now. Sorry, guys. The Basgiath War College decides her youngest is going to be a dragon rider too. Unlike her siblings, Violet was born too short and too frail. So General Sorrengail had an illness that nearly killed her while pregnant with Violet. Her mom says in the book, pale skin, pale eyes, pale hair. It's like the fever stole all your coloring along with your strength, which would not be a big deal if she stayed on the path to become a scribe, but her mom changed her course. We also meet Violet's sister, and this is like all on the first page.
I know.
We meet Violet's sister, Mira, who is a writer and a younger version of her mother. Tall, strong, powerful muscles, short hair, arrogant, and the unwavering conviction that she belongs in the sky. She argues against her mom about Violet joining the Writers' Quadrant, but there's no changing her mother's mind. They head back to Violet's now packed up room, and Mira completely repacks her pack, gives Violet new shoes and armor made of a dragon scale. Originally, Violet had several books packed, but Mira only allowed her one, a book of poisons. Mira walks Violet down to check in and gives her advice. Find Dane Ados and stay the hell away from Xaden. That Xaden Riorson, she confirms, fear lacing her gaze. He's a third year, and he will kill you the second he finds out who you are. His father was a great betrayer. He led the rebellion. I say quietly, what is Xaden doing here? After Violet checks in, she starts heading up the stairs to the parapet and meets Rhiannon and Dylan. She notices that Rhiannon's shoes slip and suggests they trade a single shoe, knowing that rain was coming. It comes to almost Violet's turn for the parapet at the top of the stairs, and there are 3 riders. One happens to be Xaden. One of the first things he says to her is, your mother captured my father and oversaw his execution. Rocky start. We can understand why there's some tension. She assumes he's going to kill her immediately, but instead he says, why would I waste my energy killing you when the parapet will do it for me? A wicked smile curves his lips. Your turn. This first chapter is a lot to unpack. Like, even just in the first page, like, you meet her mom, who is a big deal. You meet, obviously, Violet and her sister. You learn that hundreds of people have been preparing for the Writers' Quadrant for the chance to become, like, one of the elite since birth, when Violet's only had 6 months.
Yeah, it's like the amount of information that Rebecca put into this first chapter is kind of wild. There's first, let's talk about, so we get insight in the chapter about the Sorrengail family dynamic, which is interesting. Like,
Cold mom.
cold, yeah, but a badass.
HBIC for sure.
Yes. Her dad, who passed away a year ago, seemed, from what we get from the softer version.
Because her dad was a scribe. Yes.
So softer than the badass mom. Brennan died 5 years ago, the brother, which kind of, I think, obviously changed the whole family dynamic, which Brennan died. And then Mira's like a carbon copy of her mom. And then there's little frail college age Violet. It's interesting. They're all like different, but not.
What immediately like made me fall in love with this book is even though world building is tough. It is so tough in any fantasy book, but this book does it so right. Like it's not too confusing and immediately like sucks you in. Like you're interested because like, okay, well, why is Violet's mom such a bitch? Like, I want to know. Like what happened to her dad? What happened to her brother? Like you immediately have questions and want to read more. And once again, like this is why I didn't want to read it. I knew that this would happen.
I'm not sorry about this. Yeah, there's so many fantasy books that the world building, it takes so much brain power. And I feel like Fourth Wing, it's like so easily digestible. Like right away, you understand the world isn't complicated. Like you get into the dynamics pretty quickly to like one of the parts that I like in the book of like trying to understand or in the first chapter is when she says, Mom tolerates me and respects Mira, but she loved Brennan. Dad did too. His chest pains started right after Brennan's death. Now, so we know that Brennan was obviously the golden child that they both parents
Right.
loved, which neither of us can relate to that. But I just, her mom did also say, but if any of my kids could survive, it's Violet. So I just like that at least Violet thinks her mom has a low opinion of her, but it's clear that she doesn't. She knows that she's strong.
There's some foreshadowing with that. I mean, obviously we read the books, but at the same time, like we have no idea like what Violet's fully capable of. So
Yeah.
like that foreshadowing, like why can Violet survive it over her carbon copy sister of her mom, like or her badass
Or the super
brother
smart.
who died? Like,
Yeah.
why Violet?
Mm-hmm. What insight does she have?
Well, then
I also want to point out, like where they said his chest pain started right after Brennan's death.
so reading both books, like we still don't know how those are tied together. Like this book just has so many questions immediately that aren't answered, that still aren't answered 2 books in.
No, and I will just want to mention that we will just be discussing Fourth Wing. We obviously know Iron Flame information. We read the books, but we don't want to spoil that for people that haven't read it yet. So we will only be discussing Fourth Wing in this book. So don't worry about spoilers.
Thanks for the disclosure. I guess we should have mentioned that at the start, but
Mm-hmm.
you guys get it now.
I personally believe, this is my theory, we'll see, that his chest pain started right after Brennan's death. I think her dad was poisoning himself.
Interesting. Because okay, so we have to tie this into Violet was born that she had the pale skin, pale eyes. Her mom said it's like that fever stole all of your coloring along with your strength, and grief flashes through her eyes and her brows furrow. I told him not to keep you in that library. So those have to go hand in hand. Was her dad poisoning himself? Was he poisoning her mom? Because like, why was she so sick? Why did Violet come out like that? Why did Violet choose to keep the poisons book? All these questions come up immediately, and we're only on chapter 1.
I also want us to all pay attention anytime Rebecca uses the word siphon. We'll get there. But the pale skin, pale eyes, pale hair, her gaze siphons every ounce of confidence down the marrow in my bones. I think it's very intentional of why she uses the word siphon, and we will get to it later on. So I'm going to point it out every time that she uses it.
Is very intentional. Like there's so much foreshadowing.
There's a lot.
And I mean, she's said that there's all sorts of hints for certain things in the books. So it's like we have to dissect it because then we can figure stuff out. But who knows if we're right until we read the next book.
And I think specifically, yeah, with siphons, like it's in there a lot. And the way that she uses it is interesting. So we're going to keep track. A little siphon count is what we will be doing.
I'm pretty sure our Kindles can go and do like a count for us.
I know. I've already looked for, there's siphons, siphon. So I've had to look it all up to see where it's at. It's pretty,
I'm curious on how many times it is used.
we'll have to, I have highlighted it every time I
Mhm.
see it. So
Thanks for
get there.
taking one for the team.
You're welcome.
Okay.
You are.
So, there's Violet's family dynamic. So let's talk about Mira packing and unpacking her pack. There's a lot of saying pack. So Violet filled her book bag with books, and then Mira's like, no, thank you, removes them all. But Violet keeps poisons. You got to remember she's a scribe. And so she is very knowledgeable of everything. So, once again, foreshadowing.
Well, I also think books are her security blanket. That's what makes her the most comfortable. She knows she's a little weak thing. So she knows her brain is the thing that's going to keep her alive. So having these books is what will actually keep her alive. But Mira only allows her
But
one.
Mira knows that her brain's the only thing that's going to keep her alive. That's why she gave her dragon scale armor and shoes that didn't slip, because she mentioned that it looks like it's going to rain.
Which we'll talk about it. But going on that thing plus add in shitty weather, no. Hard
Do you
pass
think
for
you
me.
could do it when it wasn't shitty weather in real life? You're afraid of heights. No.
No. I'm highly afraid of heights. I'm not clumsy, unlike some people we know, but
I
I could do it. I'm athletic. I could go across, but the whole looking down and I don't think I can do it. I think I would just jump right
I'd
off.
try it. I'd probably die, but I would try it. I would be one of the fallen, famous last words. I'm not dying.
Yeah. Well, R.I.P. Dylan. R.I.P.
We didn't get a chance to know you, but we knew you were gonna die the second you were like, I'm not dying.
And we have noticed in this book, if you are excited about being there, you're probably gonna
Yeah,
die.
you have to not want to be there to survive, truly.
So maybe that's a life lesson. Just you don't want to be
We could
here.
have saved
And that's
so
how
many lives if we just told them, we did a disservice to the Basgiath. To everyone, because we should have just told them, just hate yourself and then you'll make it across, unless you're Jack Barlow.
Okay, what a dick. I just really fucking hate Jack. Well,
The more I wrote summaries for each of these chapters, the more unhinged I got, and just kept writing that Jack Barlow is a dick. Jack Barlow is an asshole.
well, so Kylie writes all of the summaries, and I go through and do the outline and add talking points for things. I just chuckle reading them because they do get more and more unhinged as each chapter goes
I just
on.
get so sick of his shit.
By the end, she'll be like, Jack Barlow's a fuckwad. It's just.
There's no reason. Even in my highlighted notes on my Kindle, it's just what an asshole. Why do I need to write that? I don't. I can just highlight it without saying it, but it's just a reminder to myself, this guy's a dick.
Don't forget it.
It's a problem. But, we meet Jack Barlow immediately. He was picking on them in the line. He was just being a tool. I hated him from the moment I met him.
He's just a fucking bully. That's just, and not in a funny, cute way, like me,
Are you?
I don't know. Sometimes
You did bully me into reading this book. So you are
I'm a self-proclaimed bully.
you are a helpful bully, I guess. You helped me. You did bully me into reading ACOTAR, which led into Throne of Glass, Crescent City, Fourth Wing, and Iron Flame. So, your bullying does pay off if you bully correctly. There's a right and wrong way,
Yeah.
apparently.
I used to do it wrong sometimes. I'm getting better about my bullying.
You did great things this year.
Thank you. 2024, the year of nice
The year of
bullying.
proper bullying.
Productive
Yes,
bullying.
I love it. You PB.
Could we not?
I will not call you a productive bully.
We need to talk about when there's something important here about one of the books that she wanted to bring, but Mira was like, hard pass. Now, in my opinion, what is in this book is extremely important, and I know you agree. In this book, it warns against the lure of magic and even demonizes dragons. But it's all I have left, she sighs. And Mira says, is it that old book of folklore about dark-wielding vermin and their wyvern? So, with that, one, I have questions.
What's your questions?
Like, what's in it about the dragons? Like, it speaks about dragons in an ill light, and I want to know why. That being said, there is one dragon that I think we really need to pay attention to, and that is General Melgren's dragon.
He is a big, literally a big dragon and a big deal. Like, because that dragon is, I mean, General Melgren is above General Sorrengail. So his dragon
Right.
is above everyone too, for now.
And he's currently, right, the most powerful dragon.
That is bonded.
Yeah, that's bonded.
I think that's an important piece. Like, this dragon is bonded. And so he is the strongest of all the bonded currently.
So let's pay attention to that dragon, because I think the fact that we can't find this book anywhere, spoiler alert, JK, you read the book if you're in this. There's a reason for it, is because it's hiding some secrets.
Well, I mean, they started the first chapter sharing that, General Melgren's dragon did, he executed all those kids' parents, but she wasn't, General Sorrengail was not open to further discussion on the topic, but she said something along the lines of nothing like punishing the kids to deter more parents from committing treason. So not only is General Melgren and his dragon like on top, they kind of suck. They're mean. Now, they are not productive bullies.
No, they're just
mean. They're bullies.
They're like the worst type of bullies.
They're
you know
not
what I mean?
cutesy, like, can be reformed. They are just like pure evil.
Yeah. Not like
so
me.
Once again, in the beginning of the story, like, we're also introduced to this, he's already a villain in our mind because he's like executing parents and leaving kids without him.
Yeah. She really puts so much in.
This first chapter is so packed, but like done really well because it was easily digestible information.
Yes. And we meet Xaden. We don't need to go over the description because that's how I pitched you all to read it.
We meet Xaden and immediately, well, we're forewarned that, like, stay away from him. He's going to want to kill you because, General Sorrengail kind of participated in like killing his mom and dad. So, yes.
So maybe not on like the best terms.
Well, his parents. Well, they said his dad.
Yeah. So yeah, where's his mom?
I think we might find out in these books.
Maybe.
But like, we meet Xaden. He's there guiding people across the parapet. And it's interesting because he thought it was weird that Violet was making friends with somebody. Like, he just like was confused by that. And do they ever like really explain that? Like, why he was so skeptical on it?
No. My thought process is probably what he knows of their family, and Mira being hardcore, as well as obviously the mother that killed his dad. Mira was a part of it. So to see a compassionate person who's a little weakling, he's like, well, is this girl's deal?
And Mira said, don't make friends. And then here's Violet 2 seconds later, like, yapping it up with the girl in front of her. Switching shoes.
It's you.
It is. I will make friends with anybody I sit next to. It's fine.
And I will not talk to you. Unless I'm in one of my like charming, nice moods.
which is not at 6
Which
a.m. on a flight from LA to Seattle.
you guys, you're going on a journey with us. Strap in. That's what she said.
Immediately, like, there's bad blood. Well, not just because of everything, but he's like, why would I? I know exactly what you're saying. He's like, why would I waste my
It's like,
energy on killing you when the parapet will do it for me? He like did not expect her to survive. I mean, here's this frail girl.
it's frail little thing, you know?
If I drank, which I don't generally, if we drank every time I said frail, we would not make it through this podcast.
No. I mean, I also don't drink very often, and I would just be hammered. And probably not very nice.
So don't play this as a drinking game for the word like or
No.
frail.
Like, yes. Or bully,
I'm a
apparently.
millennial, as are you. I loved Clueless. I have a Valley Girl tendency, and I say like a lot, which doesn't fit in with fantasy books, which is weird because they don't say like that much.
Yeah. I think it is very much a millennial
It is.
thing.
I blame Clueless.
Cher Horowitz, man. It's all her fault. As if.
So chapter 2. Rhiannon gets onto the parapet before Violet. Solid start. Okay.
Really
Okay, but
killing it.
Rhiannon's already on there when Violet gets onto the parapet. Once Violet starts to go, she gets a little wobbly at like to start. And then there's that asshole, Jack Barlow, that began being a dick on the stairs. Yeah, literally, I went from chapter 1, like a little bit more reserved, and then chapter 2 just went laid into him. He began being a dick on the stairs, deciding to like keep antagonizing Violet. He's like, and you think you'll be able to ride some Sorrengail with that kind of balance? I pity whatever wing you end up in. What calms Violet, and like this is very important in my mind. What calms Violet is she starts reciting passages from books, which helps keep her stable on the parapet. She glances behind her and she sees where Jack is, and he's unbothered by the wind and the rain. And Violet sees Jack throw another candidate behind him from the parapet and says, "You're next, Sorrengail," and picks up his speed. Violet slips and slams on her knee. I really would be the Timu Violet because me and my knee
So you.
injury. Uh, so she slams down on her knee and she manages to get back up and reach the end, but barely. She's on the grounds and Jack is still technically on the parapet, and she holds a knife to his balls and is like, she has the opportunity to kill Jack then and there, but chooses to be a better person. Jack then vows to be the one to kill her. Like, Violet should have sucked it up and been the worst person at that moment. And then the book would have been pretty much done at that point. Like,
I wonder why Rebecca
the
chose
end.
not to do that. All right,
Yeah.
question. Would you have killed JB, aka Jack Barlow?
I guess it would be like depending on what kind of mood I was in. Like, if I was exhausted, well, if I slam my knee down, I'd be pissed because I had an injury. When I get injured, I get mad, and so I probably would have stabbed him in his balls. I don't know if I would have like killed him, but I definitely would have injured him in like some freak scuffle. What would you have
I would have killed him.
done? Just yeah, no big deal. Like, bye.
Yeah, because I would have been like shaking. And so, like, the adrenaline would have been real high for me just with the heights. And I don't think I would have been thinking clearly. And I'd be like, this motherfucker needs to die. And that would
You would
just
have
be
been
what happened.
in fight or flight mode, and you would have been in fight mode, and you just would
Yeah.
have went for it.
Yeah. Because that's exactly what would have happened.
That's fair. Like, okay. So you are a bully and a murderer.
What I know about Jack Barlow is he's the fucking worst. So we're really just laying into him right there.
He's definitely like up there for one of my most hated characters. And like, I hate a lot of characters in books, but he's up there, like probably top 5 for sure. There's no one I hate more than Hunt, but Hunt from Crescent City, in case anybody's wondering.
Jack Barlow, though, is such a good villain name. Fucking JB, man. You know, what a douche lord.
Remember the name. I'm going to be a wing leader one day. Even his voice reeked of arrogance. Like, he's just an arrogant prick. Like, that's all chapter 2 is me hating Jack Barlow.
And I mean, I have to like commend the man for just putting it out there, trying to manifest that wing leader situation. Good for you, but you deserve to die. You know?
We love that. He's probably a vision board person.
He's a vision board girly,
He's got
you know?
wing leader on there. He's got a big dragon. Like, I bet you that's on his vision board.
Now I'm just picturing Jack Barlow as like a wellness girly in Basgiath. Just stand there.
Do you want to try my drink?
Kill Violet Sorrengail on there.
I really want to lose 3 pounds. So that's pretty much chapter 2. My notes are literally how much I hate Jack.
There's really nothing more to discuss about chapter 2 other than JB sucks, and that's that.
Yeah, it's just about getting across the parapet and her like knifing his balls. Chapter 3. In chapter 3, Rhiannon makes her way back to Violet and thanks her. Without her, she would have fallen off. Like, it was slick. They had one. What's that word I'm looking for?
Traction?
Yes, traction.
Tread?
They gave her traction. Okay. Thank you for completing my thoughts. Okay, so Violet starts to feel nauseous after she crosses and is generally unwell. And then out of nowhere,
that would be
pops out Dane. Dane Ados, who Mira said to find. And we don't hate Dane yet because we don't know him. So Violet starts to feel nauseous, generally unwell. Out of nowhere pops Dane Ados, and according to Violet, is looking sexy as hell. He helps Violet with her nausea and sends Rhiannon to ensure that they are in Dane's squad, since Dane is now the leader for second squad, flame section, second wing. Immediately, he's like, we need to get you out of here and back to the scribe quadrant. Dane and Violet play catch up while others finish the parapet. Violet wraps her injured knee since her ligaments that hold her knee don't work that great. After she finishes, he tries to get her to take a passage to the healer's quadrant and then into the scribe quadrant. Violet is like, the fuck? And isn't going anywhere. They head down to the courtyard where the commandant and executive commandant are on the stone days.
Yeah, it's days.
I know. I've always read days. That's just what's in my brain. Obviously, we'll cut.
Oh, that's one thing to mention about Kylie is once she gets something in her head when she's reading it, it's really hard for her to pivot on.
It took through the second reread to pronounce Farah, because I just read it in an Irish accent, fair. Like, so yes, Dave is what's. I'm well aware that I cannot speak. I am so sorry. I'm not. This is who I am. So 301 people survived the parapet, while 67 did not. Rest in peace, Dylan. Then that's what Commandant Panchek shares. And then Panchek is apparently interested in General Sorrengail's job and then General Melgren's. The problem with that is Melgren's dragon gives him the signet ability to see a battle's outcome before it happens. Stats say only a quarter of them will live to graduate. Wing leaders take position and start calling cadets to take formation behind squad leaders. There are 3 squads in each section and 3 sections in each squad of the 4 wings. So confusing. Thank goodness in the book there's like an actual layout.
I still don't fully get it. Like, I just don't also care. I'm like, okay, I got it.
I've looked at the positions in the book. They make sense once you're looking at it, but I get it. They're just positions. They're just positions.
Sure. What's your favorite position?
There are 3 squads in each section, 3 sections in each of the 4 wings. Rhiannon and Violet are both placed in Dane's squad. Second squad, flame section, second wing. That's when Xaden is like, I don't think so, and moves their whole squad to 4th wing, which is Xaden's wing. They get their first view of dragons since crossing the parapet, and a navy blue one exhales through its nose right in front of Violet. Someone actually runs and gets torched. Once bonded, riders can't live without their dragon, but most dragons can live just fine once their rider dies. The navy dragon seems to tilt its head at Violet as if its narrowed golden eyes can see straight through her to the fear and doubt curled insidiously around her heart. She feels like the dragon knows about her knee and knows she's at a disadvantage, that she is too small to climb its foreleg and mount, too frail there it is again, to write. Dragons always know. They wanted writers scared. I'd say a mission accomplished with this introduction to them.
What would you do if you were there and the dragons come out?
I would probably be frozen. I wouldn't be a runner because when fighters,
You wouldn't have water bowels, you think?
I might have watery bowels, especially after crossing and then seeing these huge dragons.
Yeah. I don't feel like I'd have full control over my body at that point, just with adrenaline high. I don't know. I'm a puker. I'd probably puke.
I think at Violet's age, I would not have had watery bowels. I think as a mother and after giving birth, it might be a different story. I might piss my pants, but I'm not joining at
Yeah.
35.
See, I'm not a pee pantser. I think I would just puke.
I don't generally pee my pants.
Mm.
That was one time, and I coughed so hard I peed my pants, but I had pancreatitis, so it was different.
Okay. So when Dane is introduced, my immediate thought while reading it, so a tall figure in pristine black uniform steps out of the crowd, charming towards us. He looks manlier. He has a beard. And even his vibe, he reminds me so much of Kale from Throne of Glass. Like, and no spoilers. I mean, a little spoilers. He's kind of annoying. Dane is annoying in this book. Very annoying.
Yeah.
Where Kale, I feel like the first book he wasn't annoying.
I liked him at first.
I really liked
I
him.
was rooting for Kale at first before I figured out his name was fucking Kale, but
I know. What did you call him?
God, how did I pronounce that? Like
Kale.
Cow.
Okay, I want you to know when you were reading back to like reading things wrong, I just read so quickly, you read quickly that whatever our brain initially first gets,
Yeah.
we just go with it because we're like moving on. Commandant? Nope. I read that as Commander Panchak the entire time. So when you're reading this, I literally, you might have seen me like look down. I'm searching it like, is she right about this? And I'm like, what the fuck? Did not read that.
You've read this
the
book
entire
how many
time.
times?
A lot. But like I said, once I like in my head, something is there, I just like, I go with that.
Until someone corrects it and then you really think about it and you're like, oh.
And you're like, I am fucking dumb.
Reading has taught me that I'm not as smart as I thought I was because I'm like, I don't know how to pronounce half these words. Like, what's wrong with me? You're
Yeah.
like, yeah, you're dumb.
Well, we're also, yeah, you are dumb and frail. No, we are not Ravenclaws. That's not us. So this isn't a Ravenclaw-esque podcast.
We're going to retake the test eventually, but we're definitely kind of in the Slytherin category and Gryffindor.
Yeah, I always have gotten 50-50, but I'm just choosing. I'm a villain in a lot of people's stories to just go with it. And green looks better on me than maroon. I like red on me, but
Maybe that's why
green.
both those colors, like those are my choice colors. Like I go through phases where it's maroon or it's green, and maybe I'm just going back to my Harry Potter needs. I mean,
Maybe. I think that is. I love that we talked about Kale and then we talked about Harry Potter. And this is a Fourth Wing podcast. Well,
they're all tied together because, like, once you read Akapar, you read Throne of
Yeah.
Glass, you read Fourth Wing. So really, we're all those Harry Potter girlies from, our early ages.
You know what? I fucking love being a millennial. We've had some great things. Like book-wise?
Nice save. So, like book-wise, we've had some great things.
Not like the economy. Uh-oh.
So we meet Dane. They join his squad. And immediately Dane is a butthole. Like all my notes are always pissed off about Dane as well. Like I'm just so mad at Dane this whole book and Jack. Dane, like, leave her alone. Cause every chance that he gets, he's like, gotta get you shit scribe quadrant. Gotta get you. Like, girlfriend just crossed the parapet. Like she earned the right to at least be there for the first night. Like,
Right.
God, why do you immediately need to like shoo off this poor frail girl? Like she's not as frail as we thought.
Well, like, and it's also there's nothing worse than like the people that you love obviously not believing in you. Like, he makes it so abundantly clear the entire book that he just doesn't think that she can cut it. And I mean, Mira does the same thing. She makes it obvious that she doesn't really believe in her much there.
Poor Violet. This whole time, like, she's like, okay, I'm getting pulled from the scribe quadrant, and now I've got to do, like, cross this parapet, go into the writer's quadrant. Like, her confidence isn't 100% anyways. And then she's got everyone just
No,
shitting on her. Like, this poor girl, like, at least her mom had faith in her.
I know. Like, Lilith may be a biggity bitch, but she believes in Lilac?
She was the only one that was Team Violet, like, this whole time. And so props to General Sorrengail. Like, she gets some credit here.
Yeah, like, and she deserves it because Mira, no. I mean, she does help her, but she makes it clear she doesn't think that she can do it.
I mean, she argued with her mom to, like, get
Yeah,
her not to do this, but at least she had her mother's love for that moment. Probably the only time.
just for a while. And like, I just feel bad for Violet in general because it's like you're going from being the best, like star pupil as a scribe to then going like bottom of the barrel or like so everyone tells you that you can't cut it here. Like that is rough. And then you have the two people that you like really admire and love, your childhood crush best friend being like, actually, let's smuggle you out of here
Yeah,
because you're
like,
gonna die.
fuck you, Dane. God,
Fuck Dane.
thank God he's, like, not friends with Jack. Can you imagine if those 2 teamed up? Ugh,
Dane and JB?
I would
No.
I'd hate it. I wouldn't read the book if they were friends.
No, and like with Dane is just not a leading man name. Like, you just go with the Xaden and Dane. Who do you want to fuck? Who do you want to fuck more, Dane or Xaden?
Xaden is just, like, more, like, there's power behind. I almost said there's girth behind it. I mean,
Probably. Okay, so we've been
not
told.
yet, but, we can suspect that
Yeah,
he's got a solid D.
pack it.
Dane's an average boy, but Xaden, on the other hand, like, he's our magnum.
Yeah, like totally. That's 100% how it is because it's like Dane is gorgeous apparently. So I feel like he's not a bad boy enough to like really know how to lay down some pipe. Like Xaden knows what he's doing.
I just wasn't ready for laying down pipe being referenced in Fourth Wing.
I've like never used that phrase,
I
but
mean,
that's
Mira
what I
did
went with.
say,
Okay.
like, a lot of sex happens. Just don't sleep with somebody older than you because then you look like you're getting favorited. Like, stick to the same year. So, like, there is a lot of scandal that's going on here.
Well, as somebody that had a tendency to only date seniors in high school, honestly, my life track is making so much more sense to me now. I get it, Violet. I really do. Go for that senior third year.
Well, I mean, she didn't know she was going to be going for it because she's supposed to be avoiding Xaden. But, well, I guess we're talking about Dane. I'm like, he sucks.
He's just boring.
Yeah.
He's vanilla. See, that's the thing. I think Dane in life and in the bedroom is vanilla.
Yeah, he's like a solid missionary guy. Like, that's his position only.
Yes. But as we brought up Kale has a little edge to him that Dane doesn't have. It's just different.
Yes.
They're similar, but Dane's
I mean, they've got a lot of really different personalities.
See, this podcast, you will learn so much. It's really important
Okay,
and
back
serious.
to it. Okay, so they have to go back out there, and the dragons like swoop on by, and there's the one that smells Violet or like breathes on her, and she just feels like, well, dragons always know. Once again, foreshadowing, like,
Mhm.
why is she smelling Violet? Or why is this dragon smelling Violet? Like, why is it interested in her? Does she smell different? Did she look funny? Did she like her hair?
Why does she like her? why does she like the smell of her? These are all questions.
She's into the ombre. Like,
She loves a good ombre, you know?
it's a story about hair.
Yeah, we also learn like a lot about dragons in this portion too, because they say we learn the dragons need humans to develop signet abilities from bonding and weave the protective wards that they power around Navarre. Their main priority is to protect Vale, the valley behind Basgiath where the dragons call home. They must protect from merciless griffins. It is griffins, right? Yeah. It's griffins.
Trying to figure out what fantasy book you're in.
Yes.
That's fair.
Wait, where am I? What world am I in
Hard
right
to get. I mean, it's really easy to like get them confused. We've read a lot this year.
Yeah.
Back to dragons. We also see General Melgren's dragon for the first time. And that's the dragon that like torches some poor person that ran. Like, how many people died? Was it like 3 that got incinerated?
I think so. I believe so.
We should
I
know
should
this. We should know this.
but
That's
yeah.
embarrassing.
But once again, there's some evil in that dragon. I don't trust it.
Bad vibes all around. Like,
It's a shifty dragon.
sketchy dragon for sure.
Like, yeah. And that's why I think that book is nowhere to be found, among other reasons. That her dad wanted.
So, they meet the dragons, people die. The end.
No big deal.
They wanted to scare the dragons. Like,
Meet the dragon.
Let's talk about Xaden moving them. Why? Why did you move them, Xaden? Why do you want to watch Violet so closely?
Is it a classic case of keep your enemies closer?
It is. You know what? Why did I not even think about that? Like, obviously he's like looking for a reason to just off her. That's what it sounds like. Just if she's in a squad, like, oops, that's too bad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, it gives him the cover to be able to make sure that she is no longer. But yeah, I think he wants to keep her close. I just feel like Xaden has a intense brow.
He's always like looking at you like skeptically, like,
like
judging. He's got this judging.
Yeah, he's like the Flynn Rider. He does this smolder all the time.
Xaden's more attractive than Flynn Rider, though, for sure. Like, Xaden's tall, dark, and handsome.
Well, yeah, and we're going against Disney animation, and I don't want to like bone these Disney princesses. I mean, I would, but that's not really. It's just a different vibe.
It's a different fantasy.
It's a different fantasy.
I mean, not to say that I fantasize about Flynn Rider, just to clarify, like, there's no fantasy in that. Like, that's not. He's not who I want to do.
No, but I think that would be a good fantasy when it comes to Disney princes. Like Flynn Rider would be a good option if you're going to fantasize.
Yes, he's like a villain to lovers trope for sure.
Yeah, and like he could also lay down some pipe. You know what I mean?
He knows what he's doing. He's well rounded. He steals things and can bang it, bang you.
Well, bang it.
You know what? We've come full circle.
Bangs it.
And that is our summary on Tangled, guys.
Here we are.
Okay, moving on. Anything else that you want to add to chapter 3?
No notes.
Chapter 4, Violet wraps her knee before everyone wakes up because she doesn't want anyone to know that she's a frail girl. And so it's a somber start because they start talking about the death toll. They mention getting a new fit. Everyone gets new fits and not a quality one before October, before the threshing, because why would they spend money to make you guys look like hot when you're probably going to die? So Dane starts talking about the day's schedule and mentions sparring starts today. And Violet knows that she has to be unscathed before the gauntlet, which is 2 days before threshing. If they can complete the gauntlet, they walk through the flight field for presentation so dragons can get a look at the successful candidates. We meet Sawyer, who is a repeating first year since he didn't bond with a dragon during the threshing. If they don't bond, they get the opportunity to try again the next year. He's helping the first years to their first class. After Dane dismisses them, Dane whistles at Violet so they can speak in private. He makes sure that no one tried to kill Violet overnight, which, duh, Dane, she's alive. and that she's actually okay. He then mentions Xaden Riorson wants you dead. It's common knowledge among the leadership, Cater, after yesterday, which that word will always make me think of Throne of Glass. Violet, oh
I
my
thought it
God,
was
is it?
Cadra.
I'm gonna have to do like a Google pronunciation. Like, once again, I speak my own language. Uh,
You're going to be bilingual after listening to this podcast.
Shit. So Violet, I wasn't even going to say the word again. I'm not going to say it because I'm clearly saying it wrong because I've been reading it a certain way. Anyways, Violet then says, well, he moved the squad, so he has a direct line to me. So he can do whatever he wants and no one will question a thing. I'm his revenge against my mother. That's what I thought. I just need to be sure my imagination wasn't running away from me. And then Violet, foreshadowing, mentions how much Dane has changed, but not, and now he's able to do magic. Some writers have the same signets: fire wielding, ace wielding, ice wielding, water wielding, etc. And there are some signets that make a writer extraordinary. I don't know why I couldn't say extraordinary. Lilith, Violet's mom, can.
Ordinary.
I am just like reading phonetically. So Lilith, who is Violet's mom, can wield the power of storms, for example. She asks what Dane's signet is, and he shares that he can read a person's recent memories by touching their temples. Not mind reading like an intrinsic, though. Dane then warns Violet about this school and how it warps people. He reminds her that they are still best friends. They start to part ways when Violet feels the hair on the back of her neck stand up. She looks up and there's Xaden staring her down. Xaden starts taunting Violet and Dane about being childhood friends and telling Dane he expected him to do a better job of hiding where his affections lie. And then the chapter ends with Dane telling Violet to run. Telling to Violet. Okay, so once again, a lot to unpack because let's talk about, oh God, I want to start with like just talking about how he can like the signets and how Violet's mom can wield the power of storms. It's just really ironic. And I think you pointed this out. You did point this out in one of our conversations because we never stopped talking about books, which is why we're here. That, it wasn't necessary. There was a verge of a storm, but then and it started raining as soon as Violet got on the parapet. And then as soon as she got off, it stopped. So and her mom can wield storms. So did her mom try to foil her child or try to make it harder for her? Or was Lilith trying to 86 Violet?
I don't believe so. It could just
She's
be
testing her.
yeah, or so it isn't like a nepotism thing. Maybe some people are like, no, she is able to cross even with shitty weather. Also, right before she gets on the parapet, she's like, she felt the thunder and she goes, it was oddly comforting in a way. And once again, foreshadow. Rebecca's typing away with all these foreshadowing nuggets.
So much props to her for all these little nuggets. It's done so well. I mean, the fact that we are able to go this in depth and still try to figure out, and there's some that people are missing. There's obvious signs of things that we're missing because there's just so much packed into it. God, I love.
There's a lot. And we've reread this how many times now and going through and I know we're missing stuff,
Absolutely.
so.
We could talk about this book for probably months and still not fully decipher it because we're crazy.
It's true. And clearly, so is Rebecca.
But I do wonder why the storm was solely for Violet Crossing and not everyone else. Or maybe it did rain later and we just don't know.
Yeah, we don't
Know. Share the weather. That's weird.
per se, but it is
Forecast today.
forecast at 8 p.m. Yeah, no, it is interesting though. Or it's just why that happened. I would never make it across. I would fucking never make it across.
I would dream that I could, but like I said, I'd probably fall. Depends on my shoes. If I'm wearing my Skechers, I probably I probably would make it across.
Such awesome tread. Did I mention their memory foam?
This is also a Skechers commercial.
Hey, Skechers, please. We have back problems. Make sure you sponsor us.
Martha Stewart loves Skechers, so I love Skechers.
So, just moving right along past that,
Anyways, this girl.
when they're talking about Xaden moving, when Dane and Violet are talking about Xaden moving them to his squad, Dane goes, "He's fucking ruthless, Violet. Why do you think his dragon chose him? The navy blue one who landed behind the dais yesterday. My stomach twists. The way those golden eyes assessed me."
I just like I even to this day want to know like what did that dragon see in Violet? Or what did she smell? Like what I want to know. Like what was going on in that dragon's brain?
I mean, I have my theory.
And that is
My theory. My theory is that Violet has some dragon in her
interesting.
because of when Lilith got sick. I think there's something there with her dad healing her and using some dragon things. So I think that's why. And, I mean, I have a whole theory on it, but we can't really talk about it yet.
It's
I mean, we can later in the book,
keywording
but
yet.
mhm,
It's just so interesting. Like,
mhm.
it just makes you think, like, well, what's different about Violet? But then you go back to like her mom knows that she can make it and like is really confident in her. So the dragon and Lilith are on the same page, it seems like, maybe.
Yeah, they seem to respect her. Otherwise, even though she's a frail little thing, that dragon would have squashed
Exactly.
her.
Like if that dragon didn't feel like she could cut it, it would cut her.
Well, then we also have to wonder, like, who Taryn, who one of the dragons. I mean, you read this
I
book,
was
so
gonna
I'm
say,
not
like,
spoiling
don't
anything.
ruin this
Uh,
for me.
one of the dragon that bonds with Violet is bonded with what's that? What's Xaden's dragon name? Why am I Sagal?
Scale.
Sagal? Sagal? Sajila. So,
So should we just Google real fast how to pronounce it?
Sagal. Sagal. Sagal.
Scale.
Sagale? Sagale. It's Sagale. Do you think that Sagale could sense that Taryn was going to bond? Like there's some type of connection there, and that's why the smelling of Violet?
I feel like she could sense a connection, but that doesn't necessarily mean like a dragon would bond, but like think that she sensed something was different.
Just because they're mated, Sagale and Taryn. So I just feel like maybe she could sense something. Or it was just like, obviously she liked what she smelled. She
Yeah.
didn't kill her. And if that dragon's supposed to be ruthless, then she would have. Obviously not as ruthless as Melgren's dragon, who's shifty and we don't trust.
And we don't trust Melgren either. Hon honestly, like,
No.
from the start, I didn't trust her mom. I just I d she seems sketchy to me. Who wants to, like,
We shall.
shoo their kids off to, like, potentially die? Like, Violet had a life course, and her mom was like, "No, thank you." So, I mean, her mom was, like, kind of the villain to start with for just, like, sending her kid.
In this
Yes.
book, yes, that's how it's set up. True that.
I
Oh.
had really like I thought she was gonna turn out like super evil and try to murder her daughter. Like that my brain goes like out of control though. Like worst case scenario when I meet certain characters.
Yeah, it's your intrusive
Yeah.
thoughts just going in. Um, Also with Dane and Violet, I feel like he just friend. I would be so confused if I was Violet because he like shows so much interest in her, but he friend zones her all the time, like always calling them best
Yes, like
friends.
he specifically said, I would have written you, but a year doesn't change that I still think of you as my best friend. Immediately friend zoned as soon as she gets there. Like, don't even give the girl
But
24
then there's the
hours.
moments, right? And there's moments though where he's like, you see the heat in his eyes, like she says that it's like I wouldn't know what to do with that if I
Really
was
mixed
Tyler.
signals. Like, God, Dane, you're such a jerk. Like, just stringing her along. Like, he doesn't, it seems like he doesn't want
Dane's
anyone else to have her, but he doesn't want her. That's the vibe that he's getting.
I think that's I think that's part of it. Or he just feels like he has this claim on her because that's his best friend, and it's like a territorial thing.
And he just really wants to be the hero by like getting her out of Basgiath and Basgiath. I can't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
He just, yeah, he wants to be the hero, get her out of there and keep her safe. But for what reason? Like, you don't want her? I mean,
It
obviously,
was
like, he wants her to survive, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, you're not making it clear your intentions of things. I don't know. He's just annoying. I find him so fucking
Every
annoying.
time I see Dane's name, I just get so mad. And a friend of mine is doing a reread as well. And she also gets pissed off every time Dane comes up. Just because, like, you have this premeditated hate for him. Like,
Yeah, because he's just
and you
bleh,
and you
bleh.
catch how awful he is the second time around. Like,
Yeah, there's red flags all over.
so many red flags. Like, Dane is a walking red flag.
It's like when you reread A Court of Thorns and Roses, like you really see all the red flags when you read it. No spoilers, guys, but
Even though that's literally the gateway drug to fantasy as an adult.
yes. Do you think some people probably start with Fourth Wing? I feel like Fourth Wing would actually be a good gateway book
It
because it
it
just,
is. Like, Rebecca Yarros made it so that, like, with modern language, so because she did an interview, and I'd have to find it. But anyways, like, she made it so that way it could be a gateway, that it's understandable and easy to digest, but you're still in that fantasy realm. So it's like literally a beginner's fantasy book, but really well written and really detailed. So shout out to her for making this like accessible to everyone.
would you, what would your recommendation be? To read Fourth Wing, like, to somebody that wants to maybe get into fantasy, or ACOTAR?
I would honestly probably say, like, having reading both multiple times, I would say Fourth Wing is a lot easier gateway. Like, when I was first reading A Court of Thorn and Roses, I was like, oh my God, this is so overwhelming. I'm 200 pages in. What am I fucking reading? Like, I feel like I'm reading this drunk because I don't understand any of it.
Mhm.
And then you hit like page 201 and you're like, oh, this all clicks. But I definitely would say I would suggest Fourth
Yeah.
Wing as as the gateway to it all. What would you choose?
I think that's right. I think Fourth Wing is a good option to starting first. The only thing that I think there's more books right now for
Yes.
ACOTAR. So, like, you will become so obsessed with reading when you start with ACOTAR. But if you wanna just get into fantasy and maybe you're already a reader, but you don't read fantasy yet, I would start with Fourth Wing. But if you wanna get into reading in general, I would start.
Yeah, because it's literally the one that
Yeah.
every millennial reads and gets back into reading. Like I mentioned earlier, all the Harry Potter
Yeah.
girlies, that's what we started back on. And here we are, 100 books later.
Yeah.
That's all your fault.
So it's like Harry Potter, it's not the same, but it's like our Avatar. And then Fourth Wing is like our Hunger Games.
Yes. And then I guess any of the like, no, because then, but then we also have Twilight too. Like we got to give props to that.
Oh,
So maybe Harry
it
Potter's
served its
are
purpose.
Throne of Glass, and
Yeah.
Twilight
Mhm.
is ACOTAR because it's, like, really easy. It's the world building and all of that,
Yeah.
and then okay, we've got this sorted.
And Tamlin is Jacob. Just want to say that.
Okay.
Moving on.
Alright, so moving on to
Oh, I like when Xaden calls Dane out at the
I know,
end.
it, like, it gave me chills, like, the first time reading it because it's like, "What are you up to, Xaden? Like, what are you doing?"
Well, it was just such a fucking power move. Like, Dane, not Dane, Xaden gets joy out of just fucking with Dane because he knows how much of a, like, climber that Dane wants to be, like, the very top. So, like, putting him in his place, cutting him down, any opportunity, Xaden's gonna take it. And also, there's obviously some jealousy there with Xaden that is we don't quite know about yet, but That's got to be a part of it.
Xaden definitely like just pisses all over Dane, like a reminder, like, I am your wing leader. You are just a squad leader. And that when he made the power move of switching what wing they were in, like that was Xaden just pissing on Dane again. So, chapter 5. Okay, so we start by meeting Professor Devera for battle brief, where every cadet is. So you've got first, second, and third years. Professor Devera lets them know that writers are seldom called into service before graduation, and if they were always third years. The class is taught every day with Professor Markham, who is a scribe, and Devera whispers to Markham, and he turns his head to Violet's direction. Violet was supposed to be his star pupil, his star scribe, but he sees her there. They immediately start discussing an attack that happened the prior night. Based on information discussed, they ask the students what questions they would ask. Violet has Rhiannon ask what altitude is the village at, so she wouldn't direct attention to herself since Dane told Violet to lay low. Once again, he's trying to silence Violet. Devera knows Violet actually asked the question, so she starts going with her train of thought. And then we have Jack Barlow being a prick again, mocking her questions, but it turns out Violet was on the right path and Jack is an idiot and an asshole. The hairs on Violet's neck stand up again when Xaden asks probing questions about the attack. Xaden continues to ask questions, which make Violet start to think that it won't be just third years called into service this year. After battle brief is sparring, the matches have already been predetermined, so Violet is waiting for her turn. While waiting, Sawyer and Rhiannon offer to help her practice with sparring if Violet helps with their academics. A couple of mats over, Jack Barlow has a first year in a headlock and snaps his neck. Very reassuring for Violet's first match, which is against a pink-haired girl who has a rebellion relic named Imogen. Imogen shares that Violet's mother murdered her family. So she immediately doesn't follow the rules and uses her powers against Violet for speed, making the match even harder. And then Imogen takes Violet down and ends up snapping her arm.
No bigs.
Just casual battle.
Poor frail little Violet.
Literally.
So, what did we learn in battle brief that was important? What is your takeaways from it?
The mention of how they don't usually call in students to battle, but if they do, they're always third years. Like, just to write that was like a big sign that something big is going to happen to the first years.
Yes.
That was like my biggest takeaway. I'm assuming yours is the same.
Yeah. I mean, also just learning about the characters in general. Like, one, we learned that Xaden's not just a pretty face. Like,
Smart.
he knows his shit. Yeah, he's really smart, which I like.
Because it makes it, because since he's got the rebellion relic as well, like just to have him be a wing leader, fucking hot and smart, like the best villain at the moment.
It's one thing that Hunt Athalar is missing.
He's missing a lot of things and
Not as smart. I just said it to piss you off. Sorry, guys.
Gosh, my rage is building just for my hate for Hunt Athalar. Like, why would you do this to me?
Sorry, I'm an asshole.
I hate him more than Dane, but I do hate Jack Barlow more than Hunt.
Yeah, JB's the worst.
Okay, so it's interesting that they started talking about the battles, like you know, Violet asking questions about height and all sorts of things. Like, shout out to her being a scribe because she knew what to ask, and then she's thinking outside of the box for like obviously questions to ask or like why the battle's not happening, but you know.
Violet is definitely, we got some Ravenclaw tendencies here. Like,
oh yeah,
she's got probably like a Gryffindor heart with the loyalty and everything, but she's a Ravenclaw. I mean, she's a Hermione a little bit, you know, like, but
to a T because she knows all the books.
All the books. Yeah. So, and she uses that to like literally survive.
but they make it a point to say, like, you need to understand the politics of our enemies, the strategies of defending our outposts from constant attack, and have a thorough knowledge of both recent and current battles. If you cannot grasp these basic topics, then you have no business on the back of a dragon, which shows like you can't just be a good fighter. Like, you have to be fucking smart to ride these dragons and make good choices.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. The other thing, like after battle brief, it just comes back to like Mira saying, don't make friends. Like it's a weakness to make friends. And here Violet is makes her friends and there she's going to tutor these people and in turn for helping with the mats. And I think becoming friends with people are actually what has saved Violet. So I'm glad she did not take her sister's advice.
I love Rhiannon. Like, just immediately, like, she's warm. I love her so much.
I really best friend
Like,
character.
I would love to be friends with her. Going back to Battle Brief, we did learn that dragons aren't the only animals capable of channeling powers to their riders. The griffins can also share the ability, but
Mhm,
dragons
mhm.
are the only ones capable of powering the wards that make all the magic. But they're like, that is a big deal that they're not the only ones that can siphon power. Once again,
Yes.
foreshadowing. I have
Oh,
so many notes from this chapter because like you learn so much in that battle brief, and I feel like we have to learn about those places because something's going to happen in all the places that they're talking about.
yes.
Okay, so I love that Violet makes it a point to say like the guys are mostly shirtless because they think shirts give their opponents to something to grab onto. Personally, I'm not arguing with their logic. I'm just enjoying the view. Respectfully, of course. Like, we're not gonna demean these men. Like, we're not gonna catcall them.
I mean,
Respect shirt off. Xaden can wrestle me on the mat any day. At my arm, I don't even care about that. Like, if it's from Xaden, it's
oh,
fine. Like, whoops. It'll heal.
whoopsie.
Oops, can you make me better? Oh, I'd die. Literally, I would die because I I have no skills. Like, I can be nimble because I hike, and so, like, I just can't ride on scooters or do pull-ups. But, like, I have some footwork, but no coordination as I'm like, "Hiya." No. I think
But
with Rhiannon's assistant,
I want to
then
do it.
maybe I could do ok you would never survive in the dragon or the Rider's Quadrant. Okay, so that's chapters 1 through 5 and just kind of explaining the world. Um, we are definitely going to be getting into the rest of the chapters later, not right now. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed chapters 1 through 5. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you're having as much fun as we are.